Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Casio WS-1600. This came out a couple of months ago now, and I think it might be a future classic from Casio. Up at the cottage this weekend, and it's the perfect watch for it. Gonna have a good time. A little bit of fishing happening here in the background, and this is a great watch for it. Got a pretty nice bass here. All right, so back home from a weekend at the cottage, and this was a great watch for it. It's just so tough to beat these fun and affordable Casios. These are available at the moment in 3 colors. There's a black with green accents. There's a blue that I think I'll probably get 2 at some point, and then the black version with the orange that I have here today. The watch is functionally very similar to the AE1300, but with a different display. It does share the same case and also the same case and band as the Casio Royale. Because of that, from what I've heard, the mod kits from SKX Mod apparently fit this watch. So if you want to give it an upgrade with a steel bezel / case, and sapphire crystal, that is an option. I'm planning to do just that with this watch here soon. One negative for me with the watch is the crystal, which is why I'd like to do the upgrade with the SKX Mod kit. It's already got a pretty good scuff on it in the upper right corner. It's not recessed into the case like some Casios or G-Shocks, so you'll likely end up with the same happening. But at the price, it's really not that big of a problem. One other kind of negative is in the upper left-hand corner. There's that awkward-looking black area. It just looks a little bit out of place. Otherwise, it's a great watch, and I like that familiar feel of the case design. It feels right at home on wrist. So on the home screen, the watch displays the date and time. The upper area ticks off the seconds. Every 10 seconds, the bar below that either fills up a notch or removes one, and the circular part of the display does the same, but for minutes. They do the same sort of thing in the timing modes as well, but for me, it's there more for a look and not particularly useful. One thing I will say about the time and date display, though, is they're a nice size, so it's an easy watch to read, and same goes for in the dark. The watch has 2 LEDs that light up the screen really well. As far as the different functions of the watch go, we have 3 timers that are geared towards sports. The first is the stopwatch. Now this works differently than a typical stopwatch. When you first get to the stopwatch mode, it will have the time displayed at the bottom, but once you start it, we'll do that, you'll see it start counting up on the bottom and the top part of the display. If you stop it, the bottom continues to count up, which is meant to be used for sporting events. And because of the way it works, I just don't have much use for it. You can restart again, and then we'll stop the counter. And to reset, you just hold the top left button. And speaking of buttons, the buttons are a good size, so no problems with using them at all. The next function of the watch is a countdown timer, which is also geared to timing sporting events. It works like a normal countdown timer, but it has preset times. So if you need a different amount of time, it's not going to work for you. I'll just cycle through them here. We have 10 minutes, 12, and then it goes up in 5-minute increments to 45, then back to 10. So that might not be particularly useful for you, but the next function, the interval timer, I'm actually using this as my countdown timer. If you set just the first interval and leave the rest at 0, you can use this mode as more of a traditional countdown timer. After the interval timer, we have world time. I recently got back from a trip to Greece, so right now we're on Athens time. This made for a great travel watch. I always try to bring at least one kind of affordable digital, and this was the one that made the trip. After that, we have the alarm mode. So with the timers that are a little on the odd side, again, not particularly useful to me. I've been using this mostly just for date and time, and it's been a really good watch for that. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 39.5 millimeters. That's between the buttons. If you include the buttons, you're looking at 44.6 millimeters. Lug to lug is 45 millimeters, and the lug opening is 18 millimeters. Thickness of the watch, 12.8 millimeters, and the water resistance is 100 meters. And here it is on my 7.25 inch wrist. And for a watch that's only 30 USD at full retail, it is tough to beat. I think the only other thing that might would be a different Casio. It's not perfect, but it sure is an awesome watch, and I'm loving it. Can't wait to give it the steel treatment with one of those SKX mod kits. So that is it for today. Lots of cool watches coming up for videos here very soon. If you haven't hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this, thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.